Hello everyone, Silent here, and welcome back to another Bedrock Edition tutorial. Today I'm happy to share with you an improved ghast farm for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This ghast farm produces around 2,800 gunpowder per hour. It is incredibly easy to build, super duper cheap. This farm works on all Bedrock Edition devices in solo, multiplayer, realms, servers, anywhere that you want to play, this farm will work just fine. It is designed for a simulation distance of 4, but it'll work on any sim distance just fine. What you see before you here is the entirety of the farm. There is absolutely no redstone, no moving parts, and no complexities on the nether side of the build. And the overworld things are a little bit more complicated, but that's just because we need to contain all of these legs. Look how many ghasts there are. That's a lovely sight. Basically, all we have here is a box and then 4 trident killers. You come over here, you flick on the lever that kills 4 ghasts at a time. It can clear out an entire chamber of ghast very quickly, and we're using impaling 1 tridents to just instantly kill the ghast as well. All the experience and items will be delivered directly to you in this area and put into some storage as well. You don't need a ton of storage because you only get 2 different items from the farm, but as you can see, this thing does crank and produces a lot of gunpowder very quickly. Of course, if you hold a looting 3 sword while killing the ghast with the trident killers, that is going to give you 2.5 times the items from your farm, so make sure you're holding a looting 3 sword. Let's quickly go over the mechanics of how this farm works and how to use it as well. It is all incredibly straightforward, so basically you do not need to worry about any form of spawn proofing with this farm whatsoever, assuming that you build it over a lava lake. A lava lake is a natural perimeter if you're on a lower simulation distance, and basically anywhere inside this farm that a ghast spawns, they're going to immediately touch a nether portal and be sent to the overworld, immediately freeing up the mob cap. If you pay close attention, you can see them flicker into existence and then immediately get teleported to the overworld, and that is how you know the farm is working. Now, the nether portals produce enough light to prevent all skeletons from spawning, so we don't need any torches or other light sources, and I've also laid out these portals so that you need the least amount of obsidian possible. You'll notice that these nether portals don't have any obsidian at these layers right here, and this saves you a ton of obsidian in the farm, and also has absolutely no effect on the rates. If you put a line of obsidian right here, it does not allow you to get more ghast. So in general, it should not take you that long to gather the resources for this farm. This farm can be built any size that you want to. You can start off small with a single platform and then upgrade it later on. Of course, the smaller you build the farm, the less rates you'll get. All you need to do to use this farm is simply stand right here, and that's literally it. You can box yourself in and then go AFK for basically as long as you like. It doesn't spawn a ton of mobs, so you can AFK for like 30 minutes if you're on a decent device. If you're on a lower end device, I would recommend 5 or 10 minute AFKs at a time. And then we go to the overworld. So there is a player portal right here, and this is how you access the farm and how you leave the farm as well. The player portal in the overworld is nothing special. However, you'll notice that it is very far away from the ghast kill chamber. This is the best I could get it because nether portal linking in close proximity with a lot of portals is a really big headache. So I just worked around all of that headache entirely and came up with a new solution. So of course, if you just walk directly to your ghast kill chamber, all of your ghasts are going to despawn. My previous solution to this problem was to teleport into the area using a bed, meaning that you needed to die. However, you can simply teleport into the area using an ender pearl, just like so, and then that allows you to get to your kill chamber and none of your mobs despawn. And then you can simply turn on the trident killers, hold your looting sword. Now you'll notice that we're hearing a lot of experience, but we're not seeing any. That is a bug at the moment. There's a lot of bugs on Bedrock Edition when it comes to experience. It'll seem like all the experience is stuck inside the farm there, as you can see, when in reality, those XP orbs don't actually exist. It's really weird. Inside the ghast spawning room isn't really anything special. We just have ourselves the big nether portal so that none of them suffocate, some water streams to push them into our trident killers, and then 4 minecarts so that we can kill 4 ghasts at a time. It is worth mentioning that this farm can be used with 2 players. Have one AFK in the nether, and then the other player just stands here in the overworld holding a looting 3 sword, and that's literally it. Real quick, if you are enjoying today's Bedrock Edition tutorial and want to see a lot more of them, then consider subscribing. This is the year of tutorials. I'll be releasing more tutorials than ever before. And also, there is a world download for this ghast farm in the video description. And I'm happy to announce that it's actually hosted directly by me on a brand new website that I've been creating. So no more media fire or sketchy links or anything like that. Check it out and let me know any feedback that you got. Thank you so much, and let's hop into the tutorial. For your convenience, there is a full materials list down in the description of the video. That way you know everything you need to build with. The first step of the build process is to find the proper build location. You're looking for a medium-ish lava lake in the center of a soul sand valley. You can tell if it's a soul sand valley because you'll have these little black ash particles all over the place, and soul sand valleys will only spawn the ghast and skeletons. You can also use chunk base to confirm that it's a soul sand valley. Put in your world seed, select bedrock, select the nether, and then find the coordinates, and that'll tell you the biome that you are standing in. This is super helpful, and it'll help you determine if you're building in the right spot. Also, make sure that the entire area is soul sand valley, and that way the entire farm is in the correct biome. Once you find a suitable lava lake, go ahead and pillar out to the rough center, away from any edges that things might be able to spawn on, and build a 2x2 platform of marker blocks. You'll need to know where these blocks are throughout the build, so make sure they're different than the slabs that you're going to be building with. Grab yourself a sunflower and place that down so that we can find north. Sunflowers always face to the east, so if we face in the same direction as the sunflower and turn to our left, that is going to be north. Now that we know where north is, we need to start building up these spawning platforms. To the north, I would recommend using some sort of stone slab. That way it won't get blown up by gas or caught on fire by lava. So we need to bridge out by 13 slabs in both of these areas. So that is 13 blocks to the north. You also need to bridge 13 blocks to the south, and that is basically all there is to it. So this is going to be the very center of the farm, and you're going to be AFKing directly above these blocks. So now we're going to go ahead and install the first little bits of our nether portals. So place down a full line of obsidian going all the way across the farm. Skip a block in the middle, that way we can build up the central pillar to connect the two portals. So do this on either side. So that is the very bottom layer of the nether portals. Now we're going to build up both of these frames to their full size. So go to either end of the farm, and we need to pillar up by 19 obsidian. And there's our obsidian pillars in place. If you did it correctly, if you stand on top of these, you should be at Y layer 61. So of course we need to build pillars for all three sections of the nether portals. Go ahead and put a slab on top of each one of these pillars, and then you can easily connect these across on the top areas, and then we have one full portal. So you guys know how to build nether portals. Just go ahead and complete these, and then I would recommend putting some lower slabs all the way across these things. That way no ghast spawn on it as you're building the rest of the farm. And now we have 4 of our nether portals installed. Go ahead and light 1 or 2 of these just to make sure that they actually work and you did everything correctly. But otherwise, we're going to start expanding this build. So place 5 slabs going outwards in this direction, an obsidian, 5 more slabs going outwards, and then another obsidian, and then 2 slabs like so. And then on the other side, we do another 5 slabs right here, an obsidian, another 5 slabs, obsidian, and then 2 slabs like so. And that is going to be the entire width of the farm. So basically, anywhere that you have slabs, these need to run the entire length of the farm, going to the very edges of the nether portals. They should stop a block short of all of these obsidian pillars. And then anywhere where you have the obsidian, you need to install basically a whole new portal frame. So we would have another pillar up right here, and then this line of obsidian would go all the way to the edge of the farm, and then another obsidian pillar right there, and then basically just build in yourself another nether portal. It really is as simple as that. So like, I don't need to show you how to place all the blocks, because I already showed you how to place all the blocks. You just place more of them. And this is the entirety of the lowest platform completely done. I left out the obsidian pillars because it's a little bit easier to see things this way. As you can see, if you step away from the platform, you're going to start getting gas, and you're probably going to start getting skeletons at this point as well. Might not be a bad idea to put down some temporary torches. Either way, it is now time that we go ahead and finish off these nether portals. And now the majority of the farm is basically done, so we need to go ahead and install the next floors. So go to the middle of the farm and place in 4 solid blocks like so, and then on the 5th block, place in upper slab, and this is going to be the location of your next floor. All of the floors are 4.5 blocks in between. That is the closest that you can get them together before you start preventing ghast spawns, because ghasts do not like to spawn inside of slabs. So basically, every 4.5 blocks, go ahead and place in yourself a new slab, and do that going all the way up. You should have 4 layers in total, and go ahead and fill in all those slabs in the exact same locations as the floor down below. Just to make sure that you're doing things right, your top floor should be at Y57 when you're standing on it. And the farm is basically done now. Make sure that none of the nether portals are lit, because that would be sending gas to the overworld, and we're not ready for that yet. Very bad things can happen if you have a lot of gas and no plan for the gas. So now we need to go above the center 2x2 of the farm. I've marked that out on the top platform as well. And basically, we're going to be making an AFK platform at Y82 directly above the center of the farm. I would recommend fully boxing in this area. That way you're safe from ghasts. And now it's time that we build up some infrastructure in the overworld. So go ahead and go to the center 2x2 of your farm and get your coordinates. You need to multiply your coordinates by 8. If it's a negative number, just pretend it's not, and then multiply it, and then turn it back into a negative one. So our coordinates multiplied by 8 are going to be 2296 by negative 4160. And we need to make a nether portal at that location in the overworld. So light one of your portals and go on through to the overworld. Once you have those coordinates, build a portal at that location. This portal is 5 blocks tall and 8 blocks long. And for reference, that is north. 3 blocks below this nether portal, you want to build yourself a 9 wide platform that is 8 blocks long, just so you have something to stand on and work from. A little note here, you can build this on the ground if you want to. It doesn't come with any pros or cons. So now we're going to box in this entire nether portal. So to the left and to the right of the nether portal, we're going to place in a 3 block tall wall of glass on the bottoms. You don't need to build out of glass if you don't want to, but this does let you get a little bit of insight into the ghast farm. So above the glass, we need 7 blocks of solid block, and that's going to be going all the way up to the top of the nether portal, and basically just fill that in on this entire right side wall. And you also need to do this on the left side as well. I would highly recommend that you build out of a blast-proof material such as stone, because a random ghast fireball is bound to happen. You're building a ghast farm. Now that both sides are boxed in, we need to add some ears to it. So go over to either side, and we need to build in a little bit of an enclosure just in this general shape. This needs to go all the way to the top of the farm. The reason why we have this little hollow space here is because sometimes the ghast would like glitch through the wall, and if you don't have this here, then they straight up fly out of the farm. And now we're going to go ahead and add a roof on it as well. So at the same layer as the nether portal, just put in a full solid block ceiling, of course, on both sides. And for the final walls on the front and back of the nether portal, this should be glass going the entire width and top to bottom. You can try building this out of solid blocks if you want to, but I've found that ghast can fly out of the farm if these are solid blocks, so your mileage may vary. So a full wall of glass on the front and of course on the back side. And now it's time to work on the rest of the infrastructure for this box. So I would recommend getting yourself a small bridge going to the north and have that lined up with your nether portal, just so that you have something to stand on for the rest of the infrastructure. And this is going to be going towards your AFK spot. So now we need to break in here, and everything that I do on one side, we need to do on the other side. It's basically symmetrical. So we're going to start off on this side right here and place in 2 solid blocks. Both of these are 2 blocks from the edges. with 2 blocks between them. Place 3 signs, 1 on the bottom of the frame, 1 on top of that, and 1 in front of it to either side of these solid blocks. Once you have these signs in place, go ahead and place in a glass block off of the edge of these signs. So basically you need a 4x2 platform right here at the same layer as these signs. We're going to add in a couple of railings to the left side and to the right side, and then break out these 8 glass blocks right here. Put in 1 more block there and 1 more block there. Remove the 2 blocks behind them like so. And now you have yourself a smiley face. Look how happy it is. Anyway, now we need to go ahead and place in ourselves a sign right there, a sign on the side of that sign, and a sign on the side of that sign, and then do that on the opposite side as well. So that's going to keep in our water sources. And now we're going to go to the outside of this and build up some water streams going to the north side of the build. Place in a line of blocks right here, a block down from that ledge, and bring it all the way out to the first block of that earlobe. We're going to go ahead and build up a 2-block wall barrier all the way around this to contain all of our items and experience, just like so. And now go ahead and place in 4 buttons of your choosing right there. We now need to place in ourselves a water source there, and water source right there. All of those should be water sources so that you can place some rails inside of them like so. We also need ourselves another water source right here that should flow all the way to the edge. And now we need to go another block downwards and build up a water stream towards the center of the farm. So build up the stream all the way to the very center, and we actually need to remove the bottom 2 layers of this earlobe just to make room for the water streams. So again, we need ourselves a 2-block tall barrier going all the way around this little water stream. Once you have all that in place, go ahead and place in yourself another water bucket right there, and you'll need to place in a button lined up with your nether portal. That way the water actually stops. So everything that we just did on this side, from the water streams to the inside of the build, we need to do on the opposite side as well. Again, this entire build is symmetrical, so everything that we just did on the left, we need to do on the right. Once you have everything built on both sides, we need to set up the center water stream. So go ahead and pop out these 3 blocks right here, place in a block there, and then we just need a water stream going out by 8 blocks in this direction. And once you have your little water trough set up, you can just go ahead and remove that button, and that will allow your water to flow. At the end of this, you can place in yourself a hopper and a double chest for some storage, and that's basically all that you need. And now it's time to install the redstone line. So go ahead and place in a solid block right here, right above your water streams, a redstone dust above that, a solid block right here for redstone torch off the side of it, repeater going into a solid block, and another solid block right there. And then we're just going to put a lever on that to turn that off for the time being. Grab yourself a line of slabs and bring it all the way out to the corner, loop it around right above this water stream, and bring it back to this hole right here. We need to place in a slab inside of that hole and a slab inside of this hole right here as well. Go back and place in a piston right here and a piston in this one as well for your trident killers. Go ahead and remove these 2 slabs and that one, place a solid block right there, and then redstone dust all along this entire thing. And we also need to do that on the opposite side as well. Once you've installed that on both sides, we need to go ahead and put in 5 slabs off of this redstone torch right here, and then a solid block, install a lever right there and flick it, and then just put in a redstone line in all of those places. This is going to be the actual on and off switch for your farm, and when you unflick that, all 4 of your pistons should fire. To finish it off, go inside the farm, and we need to place a button on the side of both of these solid blocks, a water source above both of those like so, and then we need to place in 4 minecarts on this system right here. So go ahead and place in the 2, place in the 3rd one between those, and now we need a solid block, rail above it, minecart above that, and then just break the block, and now you have 4 of them in there. Shuffle them around a little bit until they become still like this, and you are done. Now go on the outside of the farm and grab yourself some impaling 1 tridents. Throw those directly on top of the piston arms, and that is all there is to it. Do that on both sides, of course. Returning to the Nether to finish up the farm, I would recommend breaking this portal, that way no gas go through, and now we need to go up to the AFK spot and install the player portal. This is how you're going to access and exit the farm. I had to bridge about 30 blocks to the north in order to avoid this portal linking up to the Ghast kill chamber. You might need to go further, you might be able to get it closer, it doesn't necessarily matter where it is, and go through this portal. This should generate a new portal in the overworld, and as you can see, we are very far away from the Ghast farm. Double, triple check this portal and make sure it actually links back to the proper portal in the Nether. If it doesn't, then you probably need to push it a few blocks further back. The final step of the farm is one of the most important ones, and this ensures that you can use it in single player without any of your mobs despawning, so follow closely. If you know how to chunk a line, this should all be very easy. If you don't, then check out the video in the upper right. But basically, you need to mark out all the chunks that your kill chamber is contained within. Mine happens to be within one chunk. Yours might be split across multiple. As you can see, I've marked out my chunks that contain the kill chamber here in blue. We want to go one chunk over towards our player portal, and this is going to be the chunk that contains our AFK platform, our item collection, storage system, and of course the on switch for the farm. This is going to be the furthest part of the build that is ever loaded as you are walking towards it. If we loaded this chunk by walking towards the farm, everything would despawn. So once you have that figured out, it's pretty simple. You just need to go over by whatever your simulation distance is, +1. So if you're playing on a simulation distance of 4, then you simply go over by 5 chunks. If you're playing on a simulation distance of 6, then you go over by 7. So this is the actual chunk that you're going to be standing in and enderpearling towards your farm. So if we're standing right here, then that chunk with our AFK platform is loaded. If we cross this chunk border, then the blue chunk with our kill chamber would be loaded and everything would despawn. So basically, we're just going to be skipping that entire distance using an ender pearl and getting right to it without anything despawning. So you can ender pearl straight from that chunk to your AFK chunk, but that's a little bit, sketchy. So I would recommend building a very tall wall for you to ender pearl into, and then you can simply fall down and land precisely where you want to. So build this up by maybe 30 or 40 blocks. Make sure you mark out a consistent place to throw your ender pearls from, that way you land in a consistent place. And you can see if your wall of blocks is tall enough by aiming at the very top of that wall, throwing an ender pearl and seeing where you land. So I land like right on top of the storage system. I would raise up that wall a couple blocks, that way you throw the ender pearl higher and you land a little bit further back. I've raised up the wall several blocks, throwing an ender pearl lands me right into the wall, and then I fall in the primary spot that we want to. So that's pretty much all there is to that. Now, if you're playing on a very high simulation distance, I don't know how well this system can work because, of course, ender pearls have a range that they can be thrown. So you might need to throw your ender pearl from a very high platform and ender pearl down to your AFK platform just to try and get a little bit more range out of it if you're playing on like Sim 12 or whatever. And now it's time to go to the Nether via our player portal. The final thing that we need to do for the farm is go ahead and light all of the Nether portals and remove any excess blocks that you might have in the area, such as random sunflowers, chests, or torches that you might have laying around. And once you've lit up all those portals, the farm is completely done. This farm should not need any maintenance whatsoever. And if you want to know how to use the farm, refer to the earlier parts of the video. Just from the couple of seconds that we were in the Nether, we already got 43 gunpowder. Absurd. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, then of course let me know in the comment section down below. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Of course, if you did, leave a like as it helps out the video and the channel a ton. If you're new here, then consider subscribing to help us reach 500,000 subscribers on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and then there was silence.